Looks like I'm forever stuck getting 9% on these flirty daily life chapter predictions. And it's always the girlfriend I least expect. First it was Matsuri, and now Hasuwa throwing my whole algorithm out the window. In the last video I said I had a theory regarding any girlfriend after Meru, beginning with Saki. Basically the idea was there was an order of girlfriends getting a flirty daily life segment in girlfriend order. So first was Saki getting her second one after her introduction in part 7. So part 8 would have been Nemu. And we did get Nemu, which would have meant Hasuwa would have been in the next one in part 9 and have a pattern going forward, confirming my theory. But Nakamura said let's have Anarchy instead, and Nemu and Hasuwa are in this one. So is that the plan now, Nakamura? New girls now come in groups of 2 for their new flirty daily life segments? Will the next one have Kimari and Eru? Look at me coming up with a new theory as soon as the old one dies. I can't help it. And I will continue to make a fool of myself because it's time to go big or go home. With my new theory and the leftovers from my last prediction, I think I have enough data to predict part 9, 3 months in advance. And I might as well do this now because I think within the next 2 to 3 girlfriends, predictions are going to become too random. So I'm getting it now while I can. Without getting into the nitty-gritty, here is my predicted lineup for Flirty Day Life Part 9, happening in late January/early February 2026, depending on break weeks. That being Karane, Meme, Chio, Ms. Natty, Kishka, Akko, Sue, Kimari, Eru, and Girlfriend 36. Am I right? Am I wrong? Only time will tell. Feel free to roast me in the comments saying I'm crazy for trying to predict this so far out. But enough about math and statistics, it's time for some lovey-dovey flirting. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overview of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter 233, Rentero's Daily Life with His Girlfriends Part 8.
The Ocho.
Be sure to support the Scanlators who bring us these glimpses into the daily life of a man with 35 girlfriends by checking out where they post the chapters, and also the official releases in your region to support the series. Now, onto the chapter. It's another goddamn iPad movie date for Rentero and a girlfriend. At this rate, I might as well be predicting those along with who's going to be appearing in a chapter. Actually, you know what? This time it's Momoha, as Rentero and her have tuned into a disaster movie for the night, and they are really getting into it. Which, I need to call out, when did these two get so in sync? Like, it was amusing in the Momoha focus chapter during their freakout, but now this is a reoccurring trend. Don't get me wrong, I like it. Rentero and Momoha needed this kind of chemistry in my opinion. I'm just surprised he doesn't have this with more of his girlfriends. I just wasn't expecting Momoha to be the first. But like I said, I like it. But in a fun twist on my complaining about another iPad movie date, turns out this was also appealing to Momoha's interest as they turned this into a gambling outing by betting on who in the movie was going to die or not. And not with actual money because Momoha probably doesn't have any, but the Ren from all the way back in chapter 88. Nice callback. Mai and Rentero are out and about for their date, and yes, it is a date between the two no matter how much Mai denies it. But knowing Mai's the type he can tease with, he comments on her being all pouty with her cheeks puffed out, and pokes at it saying he'll spoil her face if she keeps doing it. Though cut to Mai's shoujo manga brain filter and loses all control and her grip of reality. I think I'm starting to see a pattern. And quick side note since we are talking about Mai, if you guys were around to watch my reaction to the second season of the anime, you might remember this moment. Not Mai here. What is this not Mai? So as it turns out, that was an error on the animation side, because as the Blu-ray for the second season has released, we found out they went back and corrected Mai's hair color to be correct. So someone on the animation team definitely wasn't aware that she was supposed to be a character with a certain design and not just some random maid. Thought I would throw in that fun little update since we were on the topic of Mai. It's Nurse Chiyu's first flirty daily life and the two are out for a stroll date. And as Rentero admires her casual super flowy outfit for the date and takes a hold of one another's hands for the stroll, Nurse Chiyu begins to notice how different it is to hold his hand as a lover instead of as a medical professional doing treatment, which I would at least hope it would be, and apparently that was hot enough for the both of them to put the stroll date on pause and just start making out in the middle of the road. Time for yet another iPad movie date. Wait, hold on, are they watching The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity? Those characters look awfully familiar. Peak recognizes Peak. And also, that series is not a movie. But that's not the important part right now. What's important is that Nano wants hugs, particularly from Shizuka, who seems to live in her head rent-free, even while on a date with Rentero. But she'll have to settle for Rentero, who is here at the moment, but worries that because she is not small like Shizuka, or Kaoruko for that matter, that it may not be ideal to hug in such a manner. But that won't stop Rentero from giving what Nano wants. which leads to hugging and eventual making out. I should have seen this coming. I'm more amused by the fact that the scene on the iPad hasn't changed this entire time. Did they pause it to have this conversation? Since Yaku doesn't understand what an iPad is, and probably movies in general, we don't have to worry about an iPad date for Yaku. Instead, they spend the day out walking, going to sumo wrestling matches, and sitting on the porch. Man, Yaku really likes sitting on porches. And Rentaro brings up that her and Kasuri have been doing a lot of shopping lately. Turns out Yaku has been shopping around the clock looking for TikTok, as she hopes bringing in something that the young people are into would make their trysts more interesting for him. And yes, she calls their dates trysts because remember, she's old. But after learning that TikTok isn't something you can buy from a store, I mean, technically you can, it's called an app store after all, Rentaro reaffirms to her that the dates that they go on are already fun for him and how much he enjoys them, which makes her cuddle up to him for being so accepting of the way that things are between them. By the way, how would having TikTok make their dates better? Sorry, trysts. Best not to think about it and just assume she doesn't understand what TikTok is and what people do on it. But now that makes me wonder, what would content by Yaku be like on TikTok? Kurumi and Rentaro are out for a ramen campaign date, but Kurumi being Kurumi would rather empty out the whole restaurant of all their ramen than choose just one, but she's strapped for funds and has to decide. In comes Rentaro to save the day, offering to buy one of all the ramen so that they could share. As she thanks Rentaro for helping cover the cost so that she could enjoy all the ramen flavors, she's a smart cookie and is able to see through his perfect boyfriend ploy and calls him out that he did that just for her. Thankfully, Rentaro doesn't act coy about it and straight up admits of his impure intentions of doing it for the reason of seeing Kurumi enjoy all the ramen. Gotta love an honest man, and the fact that Rentaro does indulge in some selfishness regarding his girlfriends from time to time. He actually comes off a little more human here than his usual abnormal love monster self. I think we need more of that from Rentaro. After some hearty bowls of ramen, it's time for a nap date with Nemu. And yeah, that's it. They take a nap. But not after a goodnight kiss, and a kiss in the middle of sleeping, and a good morning kiss. Guys, between this and Nemu's introduction chapter, I think we can classify Nemu as one of the most kiss-addicted girlfriends. Girl cannot keep her lips to herself. Also, I want to point out that Rentaro has gotten over his anxiety of being in bed with his girlfriend. Remember how he freaked out when he just leisurely got into bed with Tama? Now it's no big deal. I should have also pointed this out in the last Usa-chan Flirty Daily Life, but I was kind of stuck in rhyming mode at the moment to call it out. Nice to see Rentaro get over that anxiety. Now that's what I call character development in its finest variety. Damn it! Turns out today's an absolute bizarre scorcher, so hot even the cicadas are chirping as Rentaro and Momiji are out for their stroll date. But animalistic impulses begin to fill Momiji's head as she thinks about Rentaro's big, strong, man hands. As she lays the trap for the unsuspecting Rentaro by making him think about how the words grope and chirp are similar. Are they though? And with that she springs into action and latches onto Rentaro like a koala. And that's what I meant by animalistic. What did you think I meant? Get your mind out of the gutter, this is a family show. Hasuwa's got a case of the zoomies and Hasuwa is an airhead, as she dashes off ahead of Rentaro because she caught the whiff of a mystery in the air. But the scent takes a sudden 180-degree turn, and as the airhead that Hasuwa is, she turns immediately and crashes into Rentaro, where they end up in the classic fallen on top of each other cliche, and Rentaro ends up copping a feel, and they both end up apologizing profusely. But in a fun twist, it looks like Hasuwa wasn't exactly against Rentaro getting all handsy with her, if you catch my drift. Focus! Family show! And seeing the sight of Hasuwa makes Rentaro astral project his consciousness from his body. Man, where's Nado when you need her to catch it? Lastly, we got Eira and Rentaro going out on a nightscape date in the most gorgeous view in the world, where Eira has been dreaming of having a date with a nightscape, and Rentaro is more than happy to find one for her. I love this line from her though, "Found this incredible place just for me." And I imagine Rentaro having a list in his pocket of his other girlfriends who would also like a date here, but we know that's not like him, this is just for her. And as Eira thanks him for the view, we're caught up in Rentaro vision as he gazes at Eira enjoying the view, and thinking that this view is even more beautiful than the nightscape. And damn is he right, this shot is just so beautiful. They should have sent a poet. I can't do this piece justice.
You're my best view.
Also, just an aside, what do they even do on this date? Most places with this kind of rooftop for nightscape viewing in the city is usually like bars and clubs. Eira is probably fine being 19, but Rentaro, my guy, you're like 15, 16. How did they let you in? Did you riz the bouncer? Sorry, thinking too deep about the silly rom-com again. Just enjoy the picture, Moon. And that's Flirty Day Life Part 8 in the books. Overall, a decent outing for all involved. Nice to see characters like Yaku and Hasuwa get a little something. God damn that Eira shot. Nozawa, please, I need her to be the next post-kiss close-up shot candidate. And this train is keeping on moving as we head into the next chapter, where it's Nurse Chiyu's focus chapter, co-starring Saki. I knew they had a history based on that segment from the previous chapter. Saki was way too casual with her and was the only one Nurse Chiyo referred to by name. My intuition is second to none. I'm excited. Not only do we hopefully dive deeper into Nurse Chiyo, but also another girlfriend I feel is a little underappreciated in Saki. Let's hope it's a good turnout for both of them. I've been Moonlight150, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, hit that notification bell to be alerted when new videos go live and not get lost in the sea of the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you all on the next video.